identically matches the cover, except for the cover itself is just like, it doesn't have the hologram on it. So I was like, all right, well, I'll just put it on the inside of the plastic, but it doesn't fit.
Oh, I'm not practiced on that. Yikes. Sirrahnosiddanet. Oh no, Burnage. Sirrahnosiddanevet's. That's the whole deal.
As far as films, let's see, what are all the ones we worked on? Now, I was in one.
That turned into two.
What?
I made another one out of that.
Out of which one?
Are you talking about the documentary I made about you?
No, I was going to talk about the one that was cut out of the Sparta video. I was one of the characters in the video that Steven and this other guy, Logan, headed up. And Logan told me to do all this stuff. You know, he was sort of directing the whole deal. And, you know, I didn't really know if I agreed with all the decisions he made on how he wanted to act it and so forth. But, whatever, you know, I figured I'd be a part of it. And the day came that it was to be shown in class, and I got out of my class and went to their class and sat there and waited for my scene, and then all of a sudden, me comes out, only it's not me, it's Logan's dad, who had replaced me as me, and it was really sweet.
Like, I guess actually the first piece that I did in AFO was kind of experimental. I've never done a narrative piece, ever, so.
Would you want to just try it? Or?
Yeah, I mean that's well, when I came up with this idea, I went to Sonali and I was like, you know, I've got this idea about, you know, getting people to film themselves, or I've got this idea about the millennium, and she was like, well, the millennium idea, and at the time, true, she was right. She was like, yeah, the millennium idea sounds a little like half-baked so far. And I was like, yeah, you're right. It really hasn't fully matured, and she was like, but this other idea is really kind of compelling. So, you know, if you can fully bake this idea, you know, give it a shot, because you haven't done any narratives, but this other idea is pretty good. So yeah, I want to do a narrative, and I'm gonna do it just on my own time.
Well, this is a 2-year program, and we're both in our second year, so we should be finishing this coming May. As far as for what's after school, you know, I hope to just keep working on, you know, these small productions, possibly looking into teaching or something like that, you know, as an extra source of income.
Yeah, I think just to go along with that, you know, one of the things that I think you really do appreciate in grad school is the so many other different formats, that there is no, like, you graduate to a feature. You know, it's great that we did a feature and it feels really good, but now we're returning to our shorts, and that feels good too, you know, just to mix it up, to not to be stuck in one type of format. And so afterwards, you know, what would be, you know, I think a great thing would be to keep our sense of community here, if a lot of us can stay in the area and, you know, really work towards, you know, building, you know, a really, like a nice, like, production company, you know, machine that can kind of work together and collaborate and turn on all types of projects, shorts, features. I mean, that would definitely be the dream. Well, I'm Jake Dodd, and this is Bryant Dameron, and we're the co-directors of the film Undefined, which is premiering here at the Bird Theater on October 21st, 2006.
This is our first feature film. We're both really excited. We're getting a pretty nice turnout here today. It's kind of a different sort of movie, experimental narrative,
Yeah.
sort of.
The kind of work that gets developed sometimes doesn't necessarily look like traditional representations of those media, right? They'll be kind of like a mixture of them, and taking on other media as well. So when you come into photography and film at the graduate level, you are very controlled by your concept. We allow your concept to fuel how you express it. You know, the idea is that you will have a unique connection to, like, the history of cinema, or the unique connection to the history of photography, and that will help with the way you use the materials. But that doesn't mean that you have to strictly stay completely loyal to one particular material. You can mix things.
Yeah, actually, after I graduated from Hollins, I spent some time looking at a lot of different programs, and One of the problems I found was that they were very narrow in what they wanted students to focus on during their master's degree. And I was coming from a school at Hollins where we were encouraged to really branch out and to really try all different sorts of things and not just stick with the dance department and just do dance and that's all you do. Well, it basically gives you this forum where you can come with your artistic practice and share it with other people who have different backgrounds. The only thing I would caution about people who have just graduated, just finished their undergrad, a lot of this also depends on age, I think. Like if you're, 21, 22, coming out with your BFA or whatever it is, and you're thinking about going into grad school, I think you have to have a very clear direction about where your interests lie. Like maybe you're really interested in making documentaries, maybe you're really interested in this particular style of photography or whatever. And I think if you really don't know what you're interested in, it's a bad idea to go to grad school, because most grad schools expect you to have a level of professionalism so that you can go in and talk about your work. And if you can't talk about your work, you're going to have problems very quickly.
Well, the idea is that in graduate school, especially for a master's degree, that you're investigating the medium you're working in a new way, so you're trying to ask an original question. So maybe in undergrad you were expressing an extension of an idea maybe you saw in another person's work, or a director or a photographer that you really respected. It's like you may use their style or their voice and try to make your own work.
I encourage students to follow their dreams, just, if they're passionate about something, just go for it, I feel like if you don't jump off that cliff, you don't know if you can fly, so you got to take that risk. The other thing that I really feel is important for students to think about in terms of making films is not think about aping what's already there, but really push towards innovation and come and think about unique stories, and really trust themselves for knowing that they have ideas that are different. Or they don't have to be in line with what you see out there. And it's great to sort of trust your instinct and say, I know this story, I've experienced it, and I'm going to tell it my way. So I really encourage, one, innovation, two, trusting yourself, and three, going for it.